Hello, everyone. I'm Fitz White. I'm an employment attorney, and we just covered the illegal New York City teacher strike of 2020, and we are now going to discuss the very concerning New York City teacher layoff of 2020 that has been threatened and seems to be a potential issue in the near future. So, back on August 20th, New York State, announced that it might need to do 20% cuts for local governments. That would include New York City, and it would include, in fact, a lot of the funding for the New York City school system that comes from the state. And the way New York City is interpreting that loss of 20% of their funding, and the way they're choosing to absorb that, so they claim, they're saying that would be about 9,000 teacher jobs. 9,000 of the teachers of New York City could be facing a layoff, and that is more and more looking like it could happen, as shocking as it would be. Many of you are already aware of the New York City municipal employee layoffs that are coming. Those are going to be painful, and there's lots of nonsense going on where de Blasio said he was going to do it September 1st, and he's trying to play chicken with the state and with the feds and try to get $5 billion from the state, which has no money. The state has no money to give him right now. And that's all going on. That's all separate. Don't get that confused with this. This is just teachers, and it would be about 9,000, whereas the municipal worker layoff could be around 22,000. And that could be taking place as soon as October 1st. So we don't have a date for the teacher layoff, and neither of these layoffs are sure things yet. But what they're saying is, unless New York City can get more money from the state or the feds, they got to do it. They're saying it's got to be done. Now, Cuomo and the state, they don't have any money. That has not been managed well, right? So there's no money left. They don't really have the money to give New York City to avoid this layoff. And frankly, de Blasio and Cuomo hate each other, don't work together well. I don't really see Cuomo, even if he had the money, helping de Blasio out. Let's go a step further. Both de Blasio and Cuomo antagonize the feds every chance they get. There was a real silly presidential bid by de Blasio. I mean, Cuomo's writing this book where he's going to talk trash about everybody, I assume. The feds hate Cuomo. The feds hate de Blasio, which makes it very unlikely in the current political environment that anybody's giving New York State money, or New York City for that matter. So when they say, hey, we don't have the money to give you 20% cuts, and that is then interpreted as 9,000 teacher jobs, it really could be. Like, it's looking like it very well could happen. And that's going to be pretty brutal, right? I mean, that could include teachers with tenure. And New York City has, as I think many teachers know, been aggressive towards the concept of tenure since Mayor Bloomberg took office, right? And maybe even before, honestly. So that's a very interesting thing, because although they say that New York City has a teacher shortage, New York City wants the ability to break tenure. They want to get rid of many, many teachers, and they actually have many, many plans that they currently use and that they've been using for years to get rid of teachers, both tenured and untenured. They try to keep teachers from getting tenure. They try to do continuations and hold on to people as long as they can without giving them tenure, fire them over the littlest things, time and attendance or something, stripping them of tenure, stripping them of their career. These are all things that New York City routinely engages in. Now they get a blank check of 9,000 jobs they can cut. And the question becomes, if that happens, if they get that ability to terminate 9,000 people, how will that be done? Often it would be, last in, first out. But that's not guaranteed. It's not a sure thing. And I don't know, given how New York City is so aggressive towards the tenured teacher corps, I don't really know what they're going to try to do. I think they're going to have to cut a deal with Mulgrew again, who is the head of the UFT. And, Mulgrew is pretty quick to sell to teachers in most instances. So that's, in my opinion, as an employment attorney, I don't think he cares about his constituents very much at all. But it's going to be really interesting to see how that all goes down, if it goes down. I'm going to keep my eyes on it because I want to keep you informed. I'm available for questions. I'm sure a lot of people have questions. I may not have answers yet. We don't know enough yet. Remember, it's still possible this doesn't happen. Who knows? Maybe de Blasio gets his $5 billion. Maybe. I'm often wrong, right? I wish everyone luck. Stay safe out there. Take care.